All right, guys, welcome back to Chasing a Dream podcast. Today, I have a very special guest. His name is Hypno. How are you doing, man? What's up?
I'm doing pretty well. I got my boy Snowy with me today.
Snowy, how
What's
are you
up?
doing? So,
I'm doing pretty good. How about you today?
I'm doing well. So, guys, if you guys don't know who he is a rapper. I also want to say producer and writer because he writes his own, writes his own
Correct,
stuff.
correct.
Um, but yeah, man, we're gonna talk about your journey of your rap career. I mean,
Yeah,
before we even started recording this, he was telling me some crazy, crazy stories, which we'll talk about that at the end
mm,
of these questions that I got for him. Um,
is there?
but we're gonna start with this question because I feel like this would be a really good topic to talk about. What made you pick the genre of music that you're making?
Well, that's also a hard question in itself because I kind of don't really have a genre. I don't really classify myself to one because like I'll come into a genre just to do it and then
Mhm.
like go on to the next. I'm a very versatile artist.
So you're So basically, you try different genres of music, kind of
I go off of
deal.
mood is what it is really. Like if I'm in a good mood, then yeah, I'll make some vibey stuff. But
Mm.
like I mean, if I'm gonna be like pissed off or dissing, then like yeah, I'm gonna go straight to like aggressive.
That seems fair. I mean, I would probably do the same thing. Like
Fair enough, yeah.
depending on like the mood. Like if I'm really pissed off, I'll probably do like I don't know, some rocky pump rock type shit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I bounce around a lot, honestly. Like it's
Yeah.
weird. I mean, like I do drill, I do like regular rap, I do hip hop, I do like a little bit of horrorcore. Sometimes
Ooh.
I do what is the genre you do?
I do horrorcore.
No. I'm talking about like the subgenre.
Oh, I'm a funk artist. Um, I personally do funk, and I've had Hypno like dabble every now and then
Mhm.
into funk.
So we kind of like we go here, there, and everywhere. We don't really like jurisdict ourselves as one because like I mean, one day you could hear me doing like some singing vocals, and then like the next day you're gonna hear me just like completely snapping it out like a raw like
Mhm.
drill song. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
fair.
it's
That's
kind of
fair.
like yeah,
It seems like it'd be like hard
yeah.
to pick a genre of music that you want to get into because like you probably listen to like a lot of rap, so you're probably like, oh, maybe I'll try doing rap, and it really doesn't go as hard as you thought.
I just never really like I guess like wanted to be held down to one. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
was more or less like I always wanted to stay on my toes and like stay alert and always have my pencil sharp. So
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. I see that.
yeah.
All right. Um. So what's like an average day like for you? I mean, you're pretty. I feel like you're kind of busy.
I'm in the studio a lot. Like I'm in the studio like frequently like on an excessive amount of time because like recently it's been like every day just like grind and like recently it's like I get like what would you say like I sleep 6 hours and then fucking get back up, eat, and then go straight back to the studio.
Yeah. So for the past like month, we've actually been trying our hardest to buckle down and like sort of dedicate a lot more time than we were
Mm,
towards music.
putting a lot more time and money into it. Like we
Mhm.
definitely we've been basically like it's if we're not recording, we're working on the brand. If we're not
Mhm.
working on the brand, we're working on the t-shirts. You know what I mean? Like if we're
Yeah.
not working on the t-shirts, we're distributing. Like
You're always doing some type of work, even if like
yeah, like
there's nothing to do. There's
I
always
think
something
like
to do.
how many years ago was it that the Texas trip fell through? It was like 2 years ago that I decided that I was just gonna take music on as my full time job,
Mm.
and I never want yeah I've had to go back to actually getting a job.
Wow.
Yeah, and we live on our own, so I mean
Right.
it's not like you know what I mean. Like
You
we got
always
bills too.
sometimes yeah, sometimes you can't really rely on what you're doing
Yeah,
to keep food on the
yeah.
table
It's
or
like
pay rent.
yeah, like I mean our music pulls it off, thank God,
Yeah.
because we basically like I even have a going on 6-year-old daughter that I
Mm.
have 3 days out of the week, 3.5 days out of the week,
Mm.
and every week she wants something new. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
always a new toy, new something. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
you
there's
always
always
gotta like
something
make sure
new.
that your pockets are. Yeah, you always gotta make sure
Yeah.
your pockets are full.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Because you also don't want to be that quote unquote terrible dad. You
yeah.
know,
The terrible fucking
like
yeah. No, that's a bad
no,
card to
no,
get.
no, no. I feel you with that because I've always told myself if I ever have a kid, I am going to make sure I'll
Yeah.
try my best to get what they want. Like that's
Yeah,
just
that little
me.
girl is like my life.
Oh
Like
yeah,
she's every second besides music, it's all for like my daughter. Like my daughter is like my little princess.
that's respect, man. That is really respect right there.
Yeah, fact.
So obviously, since we've been talking about your music career, and even though before we started recording, we were talking about some of your music and what you do. Um,
Yeah.
was in any of the songs you have made so far, is there like any hidden meaning in any of that? Like, is there like any
Huh.
like, like
I
a
knew this question
particular
would come.
like a particular like, song that has a real good meaning to it?
There's been a lot. There's been a lot, but there's like there's a couple that have like their hidden meanings here and there. Like there's what I basically call my music to my like close friends and family is basically my log for my daughter if I were to ever pass away.
Mm.
It basically describes every last bit of my life and how I felt and like what I went through.
Mm.
So like my whole entire page itself and all the songs that are private because nobody knows, but I have like two albums that are privated and then I
Mm.
have like two albums worth of solos that are privated because like they're songs that like maybe I didn't want to put out because I didn't want to offend somebody or maybe I didn't put it out for so and so reason, you know what I mean? Or maybe I just
Yeah.
didn't like the mixing. But all those songs, believe it or not, like those all tell this like giant like the story that I'm gonna tell you. It tells that whole story. Like you know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah. That's actually
Yeah. So
that's so basically in some of your songs, we'll put some there.
yeah, there's a
It's
some.
it's you're kind of trying to tell a story within the music, but
Yeah,
without
I'm kind
basically
of trying
getting
to.
into detail like how you and me are right now having a conversation.
Yeah,
It's just it's
yeah,
in the
like
music. Just listen.
less names, more lyrics.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
it's
I
more or
get that.
less like a giant documentary.
Oh yeah. I get that.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing because like I mean I've been making music for going on like 18 years now,
Mm.
and it's like to be able to listen back from when I started. I mean I've always like I'm not gonna lie like I've always been like kind of blessed with a gift with the rap voice when it comes to music, but like
Right.
I never really had that phase of like oof that's rough because like I mean in our reality like in high school in Sanford High at least you should know this like
Oh yeah.
being like an artist or anything like they're freaking brutal there man.
Oh dude, don't even get me started with that. There's so
I've
much
heard
I
fucking
could tell
how can I
about
get
it.
your autograph about 30 times in the hallway a day. So
Yeah.
like I never wanted to be outgoing about my music until I knew that I couldn't get made fun of for it type shit.
That's literally how I am with this content creating stuff, man. Like I got constantly bullied because they're like, "Oh, you got a YouTube, you what are you doing on it?" or like asking me like stupid questions or like, they
Yeah.
pick on me because I did something corny.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
You're 20?
Yeah.
So you're not much younger than me. I'm 24. So did you go to Sanford High your freshman year?
Fre- Freshman through senior.
So I'm guessing the Gabe was Gabe Anderson.
Oh, I
No.
used to work with him too. He still works there. He still works at Walmart too.
Yeah, I'm friends with his brother. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I he graduated a little before me actually, a little before.
Gabe.
Yeah,
So you graduated in 2020,
22, 22.
22?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, I was supposed to graduate in like 2017.
I was supposed to graduate in 2021, but yeah, I was personally supposed to graduate in 2021, but I had some unforeseen things, and I have a child now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, those things happen sometimes, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. As Sanford High is just another topic for like another day.
Yeah, that's another podcast.
That I honestly though I I'm gonna say this now. I'll be down to do a podcast episode with you again just to talk about
Yeah,
Sanford High because I'm
dude, if you ever
sure
want,
there's a lot of stories you
if
can
you'd ever
tell
like
and
to, dude. Yeah, especially because I went to the old high school. I don't know if you did.
I went to the old high school for like a few months when I first started as my freshman year,
Yeah,
and then after that I
yeah, I
was in
went
the
there
new
all
high school.
four.
Yeah, I've been in the
Really
new
quick,
high
just
school.
because your name, I mean, not your name, but your voice is very familiar. And we're really close to each other in age. Do you know Trevor Blunt?
Trevor Blunt. That sounds
Yeah.
familiar.
What's up, buddy?
I'll
How
have
are
to,
you doing?
I'll literally have to see a picture of you
Yeah,
just to like get that vision of that voice because I have a weird feeling I know who you are.
where was I going with this? Where was I going with this? No, but oh yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. If you ever wanna like, kind of like special guest to us, we were gonna be starting a podcast soon, just for all the like crazy ass stories that we have from all the music industry, like
Yeah.
being in Sanford growing up, like, and we called it mischief and bullshit.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's basically just like, I don't know if you were like, were you like in the street Sanford, like were you in town Sanford?
I'm South Sanford. Like, if you're talking about
Yeah,
where
okay,
I
a little bit
live, I
different.
was like, I'm kind of the south side, but like, I always had to go to town because that's where all my friends were.
Yeah, Sanford is a different type of fucking beast, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we can conquer that one another day.
Oh yeah. Um, let's see. So, who inspired you to start your music, by the way? Because like, I'm pretty sure it was probably like an artist or like there's got to be something that
Um,
inspired you to do it.
Weirdly enough, is my dad raised me on rock and roll, like Nickelback and like a bunch of bands like that. And I never really listened to rap until I was like 8 years old when I started making music. And that was like kind of like I wanted to start for myself. It wasn't
Hmm.
like a anyone really inspired me. That's why like I guess I kind of don't sound like anybody else, and you can't compare me to anybody else, just because like I have this totally different genre behind me that I created myself. You know what I mean? Like my own
Yeah.
style to it.
And I'm gonna go back. I think. Hold on. I know we were talking about people who we know, and Trevor Blunt. I think I do know. I think I've seen Trevor around.
Yep, Trevor, you probably got caught.
I get caught a lot. It's okay.
Yeah, you got caught, guy. I know who you are. You got
Oh,
I get
caught.
caught a lot. It's okay.
You got caught.
Do you know the good me or the bad me?
I know I have never heard a bad thing about you, so I think I know the good you a little more than the bad you. I mean, granted, we probably never talked or like hung out or
the bad
anything,
him is more rumors.
but like
So
I've never heard
personally,
anything
me,
bad.
there's a lot of rumors that go around about me as an artist and as a person as a whole.
Hmm.
But like even my actual friend group, like Hypno, the Menace, people that we hang out with on a constant, will look at me and ask me why, like why am I a lot better of a person than I portray myself as? Because the rumors that go around about me, they paint me in a really shitty light.
Hmm.
But
This is true.
when people actually sit down with me and like talk with me, they see that I have a very massive heart
Yeah,
that has been
fact.
thrown through the gutter multiple times throughout my life.
I can vouch for that one.
So that bad part of me, it existed. I will never deny that.
Hmm.
But it's not me.
Basically, like raised this kid from like age 14. 14. Yeah, I let him move in when he was like 14 because his mom kind of like dipped on him at that
Yeah.
point. But that's a different story. But yeah, no, I let him move in with me from like 14 to like 21, and we just kind of like been rocking since.
Wow. I know we're getting off
That's your
topic a
story.
lot, but honestly, I really don't care
Fact.
because like that's what a podcast is about, in my opinion.
So
Talk
Mm,
about a
to
topic
run
and
it
then
back to run it back to the music culture,
yeah, let's go.
because
Let's do that.
ties in a general sense.
yeah, fact.
Yeah.
Our collective that we've worked with has been painted in a iffy light at certain points too, because of some of the choices and some of the ways that we decide to go about
It's
things.
kind of like
Yeah.
being betrayed and like this like blasphemous like kind of.
Yeah.
What people have a hard time understanding about music is that when you look at other states and you look at how these other people have came up, those people that we listen to and we idolize, such as like Puya, Suicide Boys, artists like that,
Mhm.
they lived lives that were intense, even during the beginning of their careers, and even some of them still now.
Right.
So, for certain people to think that just because a person portrays himself in a certain way means that they won't be able to chase that dream that they want and be able to make it in that dream that they want is sort of ignorant behavior.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense, and if
Yeah.
that's the
That.
proper
That.
way to say it,
Oh yeah.
I guess that kind of would be, yeah.
That makes it kind
because
of makes sense. Yeah, I would say that would make sense.
there's artists in almost every scene that will sit there and try to portray themselves as something that
Hmm.
they're not.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
It
lot better
happens.
to wear yourself on your sleeve and show people who you are than to manipulate people in a roundabout way.
Yeah, that's valid.
Right.
Act like you're something that you're not. But back to the questions.
Yeah. So we already answered the inspired one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is what happens when you lose topic. You can't remember anything.
Yeah, dude, I've been fucking. I feel that.
Yeah. Um. So how do you approach a creative process when you're writing and producing your music?
Um, creativity. Creativity is like the limelight, basically. Like you need to
Mm,
like believe you made it to record and actually like make it sound like you believe you made it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
if you're not like if I'm not in the mood to make a song that's gonna sound like this, then like I'm gonna need to make a song that's gonna sound like that, and it's whatever my mood portrays is what I'm actually gonna sound like, and that's why it's so hard to make the listeners really pay attention unless like you
Right.
actually have that energy behind your voice.
Right.
And
Trying to,
then
because you kind of want them
personally
to make them
for
feel your emotion in the song, kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah, especially when you're doing like a sad song, like you
Right.
want to have like that like little bit of rasp to your voice or something, like you know what I
Right.
mean? There's like a
Yeah.
little Yeah, there's a lot of tricks and tips to behind like the actual art of being a musician.
Yeah.
and then personally for me, my process when it comes to making music is that I have to be in a mindset where I can very much so think about the things that have happened in my life and the things that I've put myself through
Mm-hmm.
to be able to write. Such as like my recent album Snowey's Been Dope Sick. I had a very long process in my life that was, you know, fixed.
Mm-hmm.
But that whole album is actually a lot more self reflection than people would care to think. Um, just because of a harsh name that I had put on it, because the time that I had to like put my head back into was that area of my life.
Right.
It's like it was easier to self reflect.
Yeah.
I guess is where I'm going
And
towards.
it also kind of sounds like too like you needed to relive those bad moments just to kind of make
Mm.
that in your song. Try to get the
Exactly.
emotion that you were feeling in that time, just to put that emotion in your music, so when people are listening to your song, they can feel how you were feeling at that moment.
Exactly.
Which
That's
Dead at 17 or the other one. Sorry, he's trying to like tell me something to say.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we did actually just drop so I dropped my whole album. That was Symptoms Part 2 is a part 2 album to my original second album.
Mm-hmm.
And basically I did this song Dead at 17 and it got a lot of attention. I'm not going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
Good attention, maybe. Bad attention, maybe. But so basically stemming off of where I was, it was hard to kind of like get back into the artist field because of the fact that like I was more or less channeling anger
Mm-hmm.
than like channeling like emotions. So basically on this new song Triple Six Go, I only took the chorus on it because I didn't want to like basically like I kind of just couldn't figure out anything to write. And then Trevor came in, and then we also have this 15-year-old named Robert that or DT the Kid,
Mm-hmm.
I believe he goes by on platforms his first handle. But kid's phenomenal, dude, and he's a Sanford kid too, but he's phenomenal for like a 15-year-old. It's crazy.
Wow. Um, I forgot what I was gonna say, so I was just gonna continue the question. I think.
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just get into the other question. It'll probably come back to me in a second. Um,
Yeah, no worries.
oh, there it is. Okay, cool. So since you just said something about how you just released one of your songs and you got bad attention or it also got good attention, and this wasn't really
Mm-hmm.
originally written down on my list of questions for you, but now it should have
Okay.
been. How
Yeah.
do you deal with like the hate that comes towards like some of the songs you rate? Like
Mm.
someone can sit there and comment like, "Yo, you suck. Do something better with your life," or like, "Go get an
You
actual
wanna know something
job."
weird?
Like,
They just don't really like they don't really like hate in my comments, but when they do, it's like this is the way I put it for people is like I went to Sanford High School as a rapper. You can't say anything that I didn't that can hurt my feelings, man. Like I've
yeah,
been through it. I've heard the worst. Like, you know what I mean? I
oh
had
yeah,
people in my face every day with a pen and piece of paper saying, "Can I get your autograph?"
hmm
It's like at the end of the day, man, like my feelings were hurt back in high school, dude. Like you can't say anything that like nobody else has already said to me. And
right,
like I'm grown now, man. Like
yeah,
I don't really get offended by people. I'm gonna live my life the way I want to, and if they don't like it, then you know what that means.
mm,
Personally, for myself, I deal with the hate in a similar sense of he says that he went to Sanford. I went to Thornton Academy.
right,
Um, that's a very cutthroat school in a general sense with a lot of talent that's brewing on almost every corner you look.
hmm
So to break out from that, to learn how to deal with the hate.
right. So, uh, which is also gonna bring me to share like do you have any like memorable experiences or challenges that you were like facing in your career on your journey already, or was there like
A lot, a lot.
want to like
There's been the controversy of like bashing between cliques because there's like two main cliques. I won't say who and who because I don't want to drop names, but
mm,
um one of them's my clique, obviously,
yeah,
but it's like I trained a lot of artists, and a lot of artists that have worked with me know a lot of these stories, but basically, like the people I chose to work with got blacklisted from like working with like these other artists, and it was kind of messed up.
mm,
So in all reality, like I kind of had to teach everybody this like cutthroat demeanor of like I don't fucking care what anybody else says to me. Like in all reality, like you know what you can do, you know what you're capable of. Don't let them fucking hold you back to it. Don't let them knock you down. Don't let them hurt your feelings.
mm,
You know what I mean? Because I
yeah,
mean, at the end of the day, like yeah, like music's been hard to like. I've hit writer's block, but
mm,
like it's nothing compared to like having people make fun of you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So like at the end of the day, like you're having a tough layer of skin on the top is like the best thing to fucking possibly have.
hmm
Yeah.
um I do want to talk about this before we even did your interview. Like I said, I did research on you, so I knew exactly like
Yeah.
what to talk about and not to like piss you off and whatever. Um,
Yeah,
which
I have a little bit of a demeanor of a hothead sometimes.
I was
He's a good person, though. I promise he's a sweetheart.
Yeah, I'm a sweetheart. I'm a Care Bear.
um I ended up listening to a lot of your music, and I am
Mm-hmm.
going to tell you from as of right now, your music is fire. I am going to give you that. I have
I
listened to a
appreciate
lot
it.
of like small artists and stuff, and sometimes their music is shit.
Yeah,
You're
it happens.
you're probably, I want to say, the third artist I've listened to that is like in the general area that's
Yep.
actually good.
I appreciate that, bro.
Um, one of my favorite songs that you've made is called "Once I'm Gone."
Mm. Yeah, that's an old one.
Um, the only reason why, because there's some I can't remember exactly the lyric. I've listened to it
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't listened to it since because I thought because we had a lot of rescheduling to do with this
Yeah.
episode. So I can't remember exactly one of the lyrics, but it kind of hit home to me. Like yeah, I feel you in that.
Yeah, that song is very like down to earth. I actually the reason why I wrote that song was because I was very suicidal a couple years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
my mom's always been my best friend, and my mom always told me like once I'm gone, you're like once I'm gone, you're gonna love me. Once I'm gone, you're gonna need me. Like that type of shit. So
Hmm.
it was a very like in depth song for me and my mom. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it was definitely a hitting home type shit.
because like I feel you with that. Because like I've had my moment in that like suicidal moment. Like, it was way
Yeah,
back, and it also led me to like like stop taking care of myself, and like that's where
yeah,
it led to, and which turned to me losing, I would say, like probably like a few of my teeth because I stopped taking care of it.
right.
So it's like listening to that song that you made hit home to me, and it's
Yeah,
been
dude.
my favorite song you've made so far.
I appreciate you like 100%. Like anything else like that that'd be like that is like there's a couple slept on ones like melancholy concept that nobody really like actually weirdly knows that like why it's called melancholy concept, but melancholy is the feeling of depression.
Mm-hmm.
Like so it's depression complex. Like you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
you're it's basically explaining like suicide and like the mind of like who I am.
yeah. Like
Yeah, there's a lot. But I like Once I'm Gone was definitely one of my favorite songs, and weirdly enough on that album Alone was a really good song that me and Snowy did together.
mm-hmm. Well, I definitely have to dive into more of your music because let me
Mm,
it's fire, dude. Like it's straight fire.
yeah, I
Like
appreciate you, dude. I just kind of do what I do.
yeah, no, you're doing good. I say keep going.
Thank you, brother.
Like
Like I've gotten like some crazy shit. Like I've gotten into like thousands of views because of the fact that like I submitted a couple years ago when I dropped my album called The Hypnoverse.
mhm,
When I dropped that, I submitted all the songs to SiriusXM,
mhm.
and three of them got accepted, so they got
Oh,
played on
nice.
SiriusXM.
That's nice, dude.
Yeah, so it fucking I've done some shit. I've had some things and I've had some stories, man. Like a
Oh yeah.
lot of things have been really cool in my life. Not gonna lie.
So
There's also been the downside though.
yeah, but I'm also that's gonna lead
Yeah.
into this question, which is actually amazing. Um, what advice would you give in like other artists trying to make it into this industry? Like what could you give them to help them start?
Be yourself and create your own image. Like if you're not your if you're not happy with who you are, then you're not going to be happy with who you are as an artist. It took me going through that heartbreak to really like I guess like step out of my box, and like I started like painting my nails black, dyeing my hair, got my face tattoos, got all my tattoos. Like
Mm,
I became like the person I wanted. Like when you look in the mirror, you got to see who you want to be. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And on the other aspect of any advice for anyone trying to step their foot into the scene is don't take what other people say personally.
Mhm.
Don't sit there
facts.
and give up because someone told you you need to take a break.
Yeah,
Don't
fact.
don't
That's
sit there
facts.
and shit on yourself just because your sound isn't where you want it to be yet.
Exactly. It all takes
Yes,
time.
sir.
When I started off, my brand was not what it is now. I went by Apex and I made R&B music.
Hmm.
Um, Now as Snowy, I've developed the sound that closely reflects the artist that I actually am inspired by instead of what I thought people wanted to hear from me.
Facts.
Hmm.
Never strive to be something that the public wants. Make sure you are unique. Make sure that yourself stands out from the crowd.
That facts, bro. That's all
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah.
100%
I agree.
facts. All right. Well, we got I'd say two more questions left. Um,
All right.
I would say three, but this one kind of goes in with it.
Right.
I want you to talk about like all the songs you've made. The ones that I would say pushed away the ones that you didn't release, and more of the ones you
Yeah.
did release. Um, if there's like if there's a song that has a specific meaning to you, like one specific song if it has a specific meaning, and the other one is there a song that you released that you were kind of iffy with, like you didn't really like it, but you still released it.
I know one that I'm fucking iffy about, and that was the first song I ever did for Snowy, and it was on my page, and it was fuck is that called?
I'm pretty sure we called it Guess Who.
Yeah, Guess Who. I was. There's been a couple songs that like you could tell that like I just like I guess like you could just tell I was going through something because I wasn't putting my all into it at the
Mm-hmm.
time. And for like a song that like stands out to me, I mean like I used to think that like Armageddon or Two Step or any of these songs that like sounded mainstream and like vibey were perfect. 3 a.m. Consequences, like they're all really good songs. Squeegee, but in all reality, like my new shit, my new album has been like more versatile and more like complex than I think I've gotten so far. So like when it comes down to like drill was like really hard to start doing considering the fact that like it was like relearning a new language. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
instead of like using sentences, like you're chopping it down to like basically dumbing it down to bare minimum and then learning the street slang and everything else. So I mean, Dead at 17, I gotta say, besides this new song that I just showed Snowey before I came onto the podcast actually that I just started today.
Mm-hmm.
Besides this song that's coming out, I would say Dead at 17 or Triple Six Go kind of stands out to me the most right now because of the fact that my new music's always like reflecting on like what I've been through recently.
Hmm. So now it's gonna lead to what we were basically talking about before we recorded.
Yeah.
At least share like two, one maybe of like any like crazy stories on this journey.
I mean, what kind of story you want to hear? Because
I
I've been
mean,
through all of it.
I mean,
I've met celebrities. I've fucking gotten girls off it. I've gotten massive shows. I've done little shows. It's been up, down, left, right. I mean, I've performed with drinks. I've performed smoking.
uh,
It's been, it's been weird. Like, I mean, if I gotta say, like, one of my craziest stories when it comes to music was, definitely, I want to say throwing my first show. Because throwing
mhm,
my first show, like, on my own, booking it, getting it all set up, that it was in Goins Park. I actually ended up like profiting, which it was very rare to profit off of music at the time. But
right,
like I profited fucking pretty decent and I was able to pay every single artist that came out, everybody that helped with the event. Like I put in a lot of money. I put in $2,800 and I still walked away profiting.
damn,
Yeah.
holy
I
shit,
mean, I've also like I've gotten paid like hundreds. I've gotten paid thousands. I also actually have a song coming out that's with Trippy the Kid right now. A
mm-hmm,
couple songs. And he's very mainstream. If you haven't heard him, I definitely suggest taking a look at him.
mm-hmm,
And then to bring up another pretty crazy story that happened, my first show that I had thrown under the snowy brand did not end on a great note. And
Oh, that
oh,
show was rough. You're talking about the Kenny Bunkport show.
yes, I am.
Oh
So
my,
there's a venue that in Kennebunkport that does not allow hip hop events anymore because
that was rough.
I had only estimated for 50 people to show up. So
mm-hmm,
I hired for security, thought that everything would be fine, but in the end, 175 people showed up, and it was
oh
completely
my,
unmanageable.
It was massive hate, like
So
chaos.
there was a fight that had broke out in the crowd.
There was a
That had
seizure.
ended up stopping. There was a seizure that had happened
There
that
was
stopped the entire show. But as
there
we
was a fight between the fucking venue owner and the
yeah,
artist.
the venue owner and
oh
my
my
headliner
god,
ended up getting into a fist fight because some
um,
really derogatory terms were thrown at him.
mm-hmm,
that was my phone.
There was, and this sucks to say, there was a couple overdoses in the bathroom because of some oversights from my security.
mm-hmm,
Um, everyone was fine, thankfully, by the end of the night. But that was one of the craziest times I think I can personally bring up because this was the first show that I had ever thrown. I was 18 years old.
all right,
I had I had no clue what I was doing. And the one person that was there that could have really, given me some advice or helped me out, because even Hypno at that point had only thrown one or two shows. Like neither
mm-hmm,
of us,
Through a couple, but yeah.
we didn't fully know what we were doing, especially when you prepare for something and then you wind up having a lot more there than what you wind up preparing for.
mm-hmm,
So the one person that was there that really could have helped us make things go smoother decided not to, and it made it go a lot crazier than it needed to be.
dude, I can't, I wouldn't be able to imagine all that shit that happened as an 18-year-old.
It was incredibly stressful, I'm not gonna lie.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like this would be me though. Like this is just me thinking like
Mm.
if that was me, if like I was in your shoes and that happened to me, I wouldn't be able to get over it.
I think it was my first show, the summer September show that actually like I didn't get to watch anybody's sets because I was laying down on a field because I wanted to puke so bad. Literally, like I remember getting up for Snowy set. I got up and I went and performed for him, and I went back down to the field and almost puked, and then I went and fucking laid back down for a couple leg sets, and then I came back out for my set, and then after I got on stage, that's when I learned that when it comes to nerves with me on stage, like they go away very, very, very quickly for me.
Yeah, that was like gonna be like one of the other questions I was gonna ask you. Like, how do you cope with that? Like, how do you cope with all your nerves and like what do you do before you
Uh,
get up on that stage and perform?
I can't really go too in depth on what I do sometimes before I go on stage, but like I mean, there's like many different coping mechanisms with it. Like there's I don't really ever practice, which is weird. Like nobody like a lot of people practice. I don't practice. It's weird. Um, I just like kind of like go out winging it. I have fun. I get
Mm.
myself a couple of drinks. I loosen up, and then like right as like I hear my name get called, I like jump up to the stage and like I just immediately try to light the crowd up.
Hey, you're winging it. If you're gonna just try winging it, man, without practicing, that's talent.
Fact.
That's
Yeah.
talent, dude. Like,
Yeah, and it's like I've done like 45 minutes. I've done fucking hour long set. Like I normally only do like 20, 30 minutes, but like I've
mhm.
done like 45 minutes to an hour before on sets.
So what's like your longest, longest,
I would
longest
say an
set?
hour.
An hour.
An hour and 20 minutes when we were in Rollinsford actually, yeah.
Because two of our sets didn't show up.
Yeah, two sets didn't show up, so I ended up doing an hour and 25 minutes and I somehow kept my crowd engaged the whole entire
You
time.
were
Wow.
sweating like a racehorse by the end of that
I
set.
know I was dripping blue because my hair was blue at the time. I remember dripping blue all over the floor. It was
Nice.
really funny actually.
Then personally, before coming into an artist as my own, just to result that back to that crazy story, I had brought up Drugsa and how he was a massive inspiration. Well, I had made an attempt to go to every one of his shows,
Hmm.
and I'm pretty sure he still has a picture on his phone of there was a massive mosh pit. Like I really want to say there was at least 40 people that were throwing each other around. Well, I broke both my hands in that mosh pit. Um, I came out of the pit and showed him both of my hands, and they were purple.
Oh no,
And he
dude.
took a picture of them. But I think that was probably the craziest like good experience that I've had in the scene.
My
Wow.
craziest good experience for the females. I gotta say that.
I
I've had my fair
I
share.
bet you guys get a lot of girls because of what you guys do. I bet.
I mean, Snowy be locked down, but Tyler stays single. I mean, I can't really vouch too hard into what I do. I don't kiss and tell sometimes, but I mean, I've definitely left a few shows. Yeah,
They call me the situational scumbag for a reason.
yeah, Mister having sex in the bathroom while I'm trying to fucking call you up to the stage.
He did that?
Yeah, yeah. It
No,
was weird because I was
dude.
yelling the whole time for him. I was like, "Snowy, come up to the stage! Snowy, come up to the stage!" And like nobody could find him anywhere. And the next thing you know, he comes walking out of the bathroom with a girl.
I always make a joke that I make music for the drugged out misfits that never got their fucking voice.
Oh,
Well, those people that never got their voice like talking to me.
Yep, it's
oh
true.
my god, dude. That's actually hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
There's been a lot of funny stories along the way.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, we've had our fair share. That's the reason why we decided like we're gonna do that like mischief and bullshit podcast because we've had a lot of mischief and bullshit along the years.
Oh, dude, that will. I bet you that's gonna go. That's gonna go huge, dude.
Mm,
100%. But I mean, let's talk about like your big events that you've had. Like,
so I did Montana last year, Rapping the Rivers Music Festival, and there was like 3 to 5 thousand people there, and that was the biggest show I've played yet.
mhm.
That one definitely there was it's a 3 stage event, which means you have 3 stages set up and they're all going at the same time, so you're basically competing for your crowd.
Oh
And
wow.
it was definitely like shaking, like it was definitely shook. But I've also been like in the last year I got offered Rolling Loud, which I accidentally turned it down. And long story short, that ended up being a real offer, and I missed out on a pretty big event, which
Mhm.
sucked. But I did get invited back right after I left Montana last year. I got invited back for Montana again this year,
Mhm.
and some of my favorite artists are going this year, just like last year. But like this year, they kind of hit home a little different when it comes to like the grimy streetwise. And
Mhm.
I mean, like I said, in Sanford alone, the most like in Maine that we've hosted is like 250.
Mhm.
But like when it comes to like out of state, like West Coast, like when I tell people West Coast bangs a totally different beat.
Mhm.
And personally, I can say the biggest show that I've thrown as myself as an artist, I had a series of shows that I had named Cation Rage that were little festivals we'd thrown at Free Street in Portland, Maine.
Mhm.
And those shows had either actually I can't say that they went bad because yes, there was some drama that had went down at them, but at the same time, they were some of the biggest shows for some of the artists that had just stepped their foot into the scene.
Mhm.
I had given Jordan or JRDN his first set. Call Up Eli, which is another guy from up Maine and about the Auburn area, who he now works with OCD and broke off and made 888 Trap House, and he's doing his own thing, and I'm proud of him. I call that kid my little prodigy
Mhm.
because he stood by the vision. He knew that what I was doing with the Cation Rage shows was making sure that people got their voice, people got their chance.
Right.
And those shows ended up going great for everyone. The first show we had over 100 in attendance. The second show we ended up having a little over 125. The third show we only had about 50 to 75 because we ended up there was a problem with booking.
Mhm.
We were supposed to have the downstairs part of the venue and we had to play upstairs. And a few of my artists had dropped off the ballot because of that. But those shows ended up always going pretty good until the end when bars over bars does not get along with Snowy. I'll say that.
Nope, not hypno either. I just figured that one out today when I talked to one of their headliners, and she was telling me that they do not have much to say about us.
Oh no.
No, actually, it was L. Yeah, apparently, I don't know what the fuck we did to them, but like all I ever said was I don't really care for the fact that I mean, if you're gonna charge admission at the door, and I'm driving from Sanford to Portland and making my time and my time to like come out and make your events, and even taking other people's slots to the events and going in fucking snowstorms and blizzards and shit, the least you can do is like pay your artist and not walk home stingy at the end of the night.
Bars over bars and beyond the mic as a whole, they had started off as this really good vision for the artists that needed their
It
footing
was
in,
really good.
Mhm.
and then over time they let the fact that they were making money off from everyone's name just sort of take over that initial vision. Like if it
Yeah.
stuck to that first vision that they had, it would have been hats off to them all day. But it really turned into a who can we use to profit the
Turned
most.
into a money greed. They like if like when they got done with you, they were just like going for your friends and like your clique and like trying to like use your friends and making them pissed. It's just stupid, honestly, man.
And I sadly myself, I am a walking example of one of the artists they did that to. They
Mhm.
used me for about over a year and a half to help build their name,
And then
and
threw me in the mix.
And
then
they
we
didn't
threw
even.
Tyler. I had given Hypno one of my sets because I had my daughter to take care of that night.
Right.
But from that point on, they had started abusing both mine and Hypno's name until both of us had realized that that was what was going on and took pretty much every artist that we had them put on and told them, hey, if you still want that opportunity, you have it with us. But they're using us.
Yeah, we had to
Yeah.
disband and like kind of back ourselves up, reevaluate.
So they weren't like even like paying you guys to be there or anything. They were just like basically,
Um,
oh, you're
it
you're
was
here,
always
and then
it was always said that they were gonna pay us, but then nobody ever actually got paid at the end of the day. Like
wow.
that's why we only do events that like are profitable events. The only reason
Mhm.
why we're doing this free show in Stanford is because we're trying to give back to the community at the same time as like growing our brand and growing our name. Like when it comes to like tour,
Mhm.
like yeah, they pay us. Like you know what I mean? Like
Right.
And really quick, that does bring any controversy on you bringing that up. I do have screenshot proof from multiple shows that artists were supposed to get paid.
yeah, I mean, I don't think that they're really gonna say
I don't
anything,
think
but
they will
if
either,
they do,
but
then whatever.
just so that is on the record.
I mean, this podcast is small, so I don't think there's gonna be any type
Never
of.
know, but I
That is
suppose
true, yeah, but I'm not really worried.
whatever.
I mean, I've talked about so many things. Like I've called out so many people, and I've never gotten shit for it because I always backed up everything. So
Damn straight, you can't call out unless you got the fucking proof.
exactly.
Exactly.
Which there is gonna be after when we're done here. There is something I do want to talk to you guys about off of this because I don't want to bring it out there
Yeah, understandable.
because I feel like you guys know somebody that I know, and I want to hear
Oh,
I want to hear actual stories about him. So after this,
okay.
we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
Um,
no worries.
but I
You
mean,
might have found the perfect culprits to ask.
um, I mean, I really don't have much questions left. I mean, all my questions are kind of just done now. You guys
Yeah,
literally have answered every single question, and like I said in the beginning, you guys didn't tell me to fuck off. Um,
right.
I mean, is there like any like what type of like platforms you guys use for people to follow you on? Obviously,
I'm
like
on
links will be in the description,
I'm
but
on all platforms, but in all reality, like if you just look up all caps HYPN and then the slash though $ WXRLD, you'll find me on Google, you'll find me on Spotify, you'll find me on Apple Music, Twitter, Twitch, fucking anywhere. Like you look for me anywhere you need me and you'll find it.
And you can find Snowy on just about any platform. Drop some love.
I'll definitely be having some of you guys' links, especially Snowy. I'll also put some links in there as well for you, so you can.
And motherfuckers drop a like and comment, dude. Like, holy shit. I don't know what happened to the days where everybody was like, oh, yeah, I'll subscribe to this person. I'll like and I'll comment their freaking craft and time, even though I love it. I'll just tell them in person. I'll just tell them in person that I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whack.
No, I think that kind of concludes this podcast.
Yeah.
I want to thank you both actually for your time. I know we've had a hard time trying to do this. Um, like I said, there was supposed to be another person with me, but sadly he couldn't do it today.
Hey, it
Um,
happens.
I mean, like I said, there could be a
Maybe on the next one.
yeah. I was gonna say we could probably do a future one. Again, I would be
Yeah, no,
down to
I'm
do that.
definitely
Like
down.
you guys are pretty chill. Um,
Especially since I
you
already have you
guys,
on here. Might as well.
yeah, like you guys seem, you know, I would be down to do any like creations or whatever with you guys. I mean, I'm not an artist, but like at least
Yeah.
like podcasts at
Bro,
least like
Right.
overall, you're helping us build our name. So
Yeah, fact.
hopefully, repaying the favor will help you build your name in that same like form, in that same sense.
Exactly.
I got total respect for you guys.
Well, we appreciate it for sure.
Like obviously we all have grown up in Sanford, and it's actually nice to talk to
Had our
people
fair share.
who's had fair shares of experiences with Sanford. And
Oh, yeah.
to me it's hard to find actual chill people in Sanford, besides like the friends I know, but like, friends like
Mm.
outside of my friend group that I have, like, you know,
Sanford's a hell of a cutthroat area, man.
oh
I
yeah.
had the same problem growing up entirely.
Oh yeah. It's just crazy. I mean, obviously that would be a different episode to talk about Sanford, so people kind of get
Yeah, fact.
understand of what Sanford's like. Like I have a lot of
It's a
stories.
different beast.
I
Yeah, it's a
have
different type of area.
I have told a really really good story on my old podcast that I started that I dropped because I was just not cutting it, in my opinion, like
Right.
I am now. And I do want to tell that story again because it's one of those like I said in your song, it kind of pops that and
Right.
triggers that depression that I had back then, that I want to bring my story out. And the way for me to do that is if I tell it. And it's
Yeah, no worries.
just,
I just had to prove a bro move over here. I'm sorry.
oh, you're good. But I
My
mean,
man's just like definitely like texted to me and was like, "Hey, that girl you just added, bro, that was my bitch."
but no,
It's like, oh, my bad, remove.
like, you guys are pretty chill. I appreciate you guys a lot. Like, seriously.
Mm,
Like, just,
fact, I appreciate you, man.
like, just from the stuff you told me when we first even, like, this is our first time, like, talking. And just, like, the
Mm,
stuff you've told me already, it to me, that gives me respect. Like, you're
yeah,
telling
fact.
me, like, you put your daughter before anything in the world. Like, that's respect.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like, that is 100% my respect. Like, obviously I don't know
Yo,
like
I
your
appreciate
personal
that,
life.
bro.
Like I don't know your personal life. I don't know what you've gone through. I know
Mm.
nothing.
Yeah, no facts.
But just from you, the way you introduced yourself to me before we even started this podcast, and just the way
Right.
you came off to me was like respect.
Yeah, no facts. That's why, like, I know we had a little bit of a scheduling mix-up. That's the reason why I was
Yeah.
like, nah, I gotta get this done for this man today.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to do this. Like for sure.
100%, anytime, man.
But no, links for Snowy and Hypno will be in the description of this podcast. I want to
Mm,
appreciate people who listen and watch
yeah,
and support.
like the viewers are what makes everything happen.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I will see you guys in the next episode that we do. And in the future we'll probably have them again. So take it easy, y'all. We'll see you later.